Fraser Island lies off the southeast Queensland coast of Australia. It's the largest sand island in Australia, in fact in the world. It boasts many freshwater lakes and large sandblows. Fraser Island has been a four-wheel driving and camping mecca for many years, and many four-wheel drivers come from miles around to test their skills on the sandy desert tracks. From tip to tip, Fraser Island is 120 kilometres or 75 miles in length. We left our home near Wangaratta in northeast Victoria to start the nearly 1600 kilometre trek before we even set foot on Fraser Island. This consisted of countless hours of highway driving, as well as 2 overnight stops. After 2 days of driving, we prepared ourselves to tackle the soft sand at Inskip Point. At Inskip Point, we were loaded onto the Manta Ray ferry, which took us the short distance across the channel to Fraser Island. And just like that, we hit the sand for what would be a great week on Fraser Island. We blasted up the southern portion of the 75-mile beach to find our first night's camp at Lake Birmingham. It rained most of the night, but thankfully the rest of the trip was rain-free. The next morning we left Lake Birmingham to continue our adventure on Fraser Island and find out what it had to offer. Heading back out to the 75-mile beach, we couldn't help but stop and take photos, as we'd never driven on a beach before. Then came to Eli Creek, which is a freshwater creek known for its water clarity, and it's also a popular swimming spot along the 75-mile beach. Swimmers can follow a boardwalk up the creek and then float down with the current. beach at Eli Creek is also used as an airstrip for light aircraft. While driving along the beach, you've definitely got to keep an eye out for landing aircraft, as we found out later on, one landed right beside us. From Eli Creek, it's only a short hop north to the wreck of the Mahino. It's a rite of passage when visiting Fraser Island to have a photo of your vehicle in front of the wreck. After exploring the wreck, we began to make our way across the island to where our camp would be for the night at Warrelly Creek. Upon arrival at Warrelly Creek, we were greeted with this beautiful view. The sunset was so good, we took plenty of photos. This is where my all-time favourite photo was taken. You may have seen it on my channel somewhere. The next morning we woke to find that we'd had an intruder in the camp overnight. While we didn't see it, it was one of these, a Fraser Island dingo. Dingoes are a native Australian dog. Warrelly Creek was so nice, we decided to stay there another night. It was our own private paradise. We only saw one other person the whole time we were there. Sadly, it was time to leave Warrelly Creek and continue on with the rest of our journey. On the way, we decided to stop in and check out Lake Alum. Lake Alum was full of freshwater turtles and plenty of fish. Lake Alum was the only lake we came across that wasn't crystal clear. We then made our way back to 75 Mile Beach so that we could trek across to Kingfisher Bay. Thankfully, we had plenty of fuel when we stopped in at Happy Valley. After traversing across the island, we arrived at the Kingfisher Bay Resort. This is where we based ourselves for the next few days. From Kingfisher Bay, we were able to make day trips to some of the islands and many attractions, including Indian Head, Champagne Pools, and Orchid Beach. Champagne Pools is a set of rock pools popular with swimmers. You can swim in the pool here with the waves crashing over you whilst chasing fish between the rocks. There were heaps of different varieties of fish that were swimming in the pools. The next day we took a trip out to Lake Mackenzie. Lake Mackenzie is one of the larger freshwater lakes on Fraser Island, and it's definitely the clearest. You'd be forgiven for thinking it was a swimming pool when looking from underwater. The sandy white beaches make you think that it's actually on the ocean, but no, it's definitely a lake. I reckon you could see for almost 100 metres underwater. Lake Mackenzie was well worth the trip, even though we broke a CV joint in the process. Sadly, the next day it was time to board the ferry to head back towards the mainland. We'd had an awesome time and we'd definitely recommend it to anyone. Now to get the CV joint fixed so we could drive the 1600 kilometres home.